Well, it's been some time since we spoke last, and I've just done my first night of the year. It's Sunday the 5th of March, and fishing this winter just hasn't gone to plan at all. I do really enjoy my winter fishing, but for me it's always a really busy time with work, and I try and really capitalise on that, get as much work in as possible, and that allows me sort of some holiday time for the warmer months when I think it's more worth taking some time off for fishing. So yeah, I've not fished my last trip at Norvey in November, and then I'd done one night on a club water, and that was just when it started to get real cold. And then yeah, I just work has just gone mental for me, and to be honest, the last month or so it's really started to take its toll on me. I've worked every weekend so far this year, or every Saturday at least, and I was just really craving to get outdoors, and going for a walk here and there wasn't quite enough, so decided I was going to go fishing. Got the kit sorted, and I've just done the night on one of my local club waters. This was the same water that I'd done a couple of trips last spring and done the Avid film on, so a lake very familiar to me. I know the lake very well, and I just wanted somewhere comfortable to fish. There was no one else here last night. I came after work yesterday, and to arrive to a lake with no one on was really nice. So I did do a baiting trip on the Thursday evening. Nothing's happened as yet, but I have seen quite a few shows while I was getting set up yesterday. I probably saw 5 or 6 different shows, seen a little bit of bubbling and what have you, so I've only got till about 10 o'clock. So yeah, we'll see what happens. In terms of fish to catch in here, there are a handful that I haven't caught. There is a mirror that I'd really like that's got a big scale on its side, and it's probably well over £30 these days, so I'd like that one. But yeah, in terms of going into the future, I had big plans for Norvey. It's an amazing lake, and I'd love to keep going back, but me and Sophie have made the decision that I'm going to stop travelling for my fishing for now. It's going to really burn me to do it, but we're desperate to get a property, and fishing really is the last sacrifice that I can make. Since 2019 I've been paying for big tickets, travelling. I am in a very lucky position. I'm supported, but even so, I'm still having to pay for those tickets, travel to and from the lakes, and that's money that I could be saving to put into a property. So I'm just going to keep my local club ticket now. So yeah, that's not to say that there won't be good fishing. There's some really big fish in those club waters, and I'm really looking forward to fishing them. I'm not going to have loads of time. I've got bundles of work booked in this year. I'm also really trying to push to build my sort of CV as such. So I've already done a course this year. I've got quite a few lined up for the year. So yeah, got lots going on with work, and just trying to focus a little bit more on the future. Fishing will always be there, I know that. So yeah, it's going to be a real shame to leave Norvey, but you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes. So the plan this spring is to do a few nights over here. When I'm working weekends and stuff, I can drop in for a night here, I can bait up, and as I say, it is quite quiet as a rule. I've got till the end of April on Norvey, so I'm hoping I can get in somewhere between 4 to 6 weekends over there. That's the plan. So yeah, we'll see. It's hard, I absolutely adore my fishing, and after having the last 3 months off, it's made me realise, when I'm busy with work, I really need that outlet, and going to the gym and exercise helps, but it's not quite the same as waking up by the lake. So yeah, I'm going to do all I can to try and fit a bit of fishing in. So I'm still going to vlog, I'm still going to do the journal. It's just going to be a more of as I go, a normal bloke that goes fishing. So I hope you still enjoy them and still watch them. Chances are I'm probably going to do it on a more regular basis rather than seasonal. So yeah, we'll just see how things go. So yeah, I've just made my first coffee, so I'm going to enjoy that, and yeah, soak up the rest of this morning before I have to start packing up. So yeah, I'll catch up with you on the next trip, which hopefully will be in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I hope you guys have had a great winter and caught plenty of fish. I want to round off, the hair has gone, so yeah, no hair now, so I'll probably look a bit different to when you last see me. So yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Good afternoon. It is the following Saturday from when we last spoke, and nothing occurred that trip. Packed up after not seeing a lot really. I did have a liner in the morning, but all the activity I did see was all within that evening period. So got down for a baiting trip Thursday. The weather has been really cold this week. We've had a little bit of snow, a bit of ice. And last night was really cold, but the weather has improved a lot today. So yeah, just finished work, got back down, and the lake that I fished last week is actually quite busy. So I've looked across to the lake on the other side, which I did a bit of time on here sort of February to March a few years back and done well. There's some lovely carp in here, not massive but dark, old looking ones, and there's one in here that I'm desperate to catch, a fish called sea scale. So there's nobody on this one. It's a much smaller lake, a lot more intimate. So yeah, I'm going to get the kit out and try and work out where I'm going to go. I've actually seen a couple of fish in a little bay that's really shallow. The wind's coming up this end of the lake, but I think I'm going to get in the middle because that's where I've done well this time of year in the past. There's been a few coming out of here as well, so I know they're definitely awake. So yeah, going to have a walk around, get the kit, and I'll catch up with you shortly. So I did well in this swim a few marches back now, just fishing into the little holes on the far side, but I think the area I'm going to go in is a swim called Luke's over there, fishing to this far margin here. I just think when these fish start waking up, they really start patrolling along this bank here using that tree line. And you've also got a really big gravel bar over where the aerator is there, and in that bay just over there, that's where I saw the couple of fish. Really shallow area, which is essentially the other side of that bar. And yeah, as soon as you start getting water going in there, they really start to move into that area. So I don't really fancy sitting in the face of this cold wind either. So I think middle of the lake, get a couple of rods on that far margin and one on the bar. We'll see what happens. There's fish over there, so yeah, good sign. Go and get the kit. Good morning. Not a lot to report. I have to admit, I was feeling quite confident of a bite over here. I did have a bream just as I was making dinner, just what you want. Probably a 4 or 5 pound slab. Big drop back from the far margin, but yeah, other than that, not a lot's occurred. I did hear what I thought was a couple of shows through the night, but there's quite a lot of bird life on here, so I can't be certain. The sun has come out this morning and it does feel really nice. I mean, it's a hell of a lot warmer than it has been. But yeah, not seen a lot. There's been a couple of patches of bubbles out and about. I have done well in this swim, sort of moving into the morning, but I've only got probably 20 minutes left and that's me done. So yeah, shame really. I was hoping to sort of pinch one from here or the lake that I fished last week just to sort of get me off the mark for the year, but at the moment it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So a bit of an update of what I said last time. So the plan was to fish some local club waters, so I've held the ticket for them for quite a few years now. So this is the same club that I caught the big common finally last year. So there's a couple of waters on the ticket that have a night ticket, and what I realised on Sunday was that I missed the renewal, which was really gutting because that was my plan for the year. The tickets sell out really fast and it was just my mistake. I've been so wrapped up in other things so far this year and I just didn't see the post to see that the tickets were going out. So that opportunity's gone, there's nothing I can do about it. So I got in touch with a few people, and the possibility of a local syndicate's come up. Like I said, I didn't really want to join a syndicate this year, but I need to do something because the ticket that I'd planned now isn't there, and I haven't got a lot of options. This ticket is really close to me. It's probably 10 minutes from home. It's been on my radar now for a good 2 or 3 years, and the fish are slowly getting bigger and bigger. It did its first 40 last year, and there's some lovely carp in there, some real nice mirrors, and I joined Norvey for the mirrors. And in terms of fishing in Essex, there isn't loads of mirrors out there, not that I can access anyway. So yeah, I'm going for a walk round now. I'm going to reel in and going to travel over there and meet my friend and go and have a walk round, and then I can make my decision from there. So yeah, not an ideal situation, but at the same time, I am a believer of everything happens for a reason, and it may be a really good thing for me. So yeah, gonna go and walk around there now, and yeah, I'll probably film a little bit of the lake, and I'll catch up with you on my next trip, which will be at Norvey next weekend. First one over there of the year. I can't wait to get over there, so I'll catch up with you then. Well, have a look at this. Pretty different to anything I've fished for the last few years. Really small little pit, but believe it or not, there's around 30 fursies in this lake. Lovely clear water. Yeah, quite different though. It's a little bit smaller than I thought. But yeah, I'm gonna have a walk round. And Lee's got one, so I'm gonna see my first carp from here. It's a beautiful day. Gutted I couldn't stay fishing, to be honest, but at least I'm getting to check out this one. Quite open. I imagine the winds really hack across here. So yeah, this could well be where I end up spending the rest of this year on. Well, we've just had a walk round. A beautiful day to have a walk round. The sun come up and the lake looked really nice. It's a little bit smaller than I thought, I have to admit. But in terms of the stock, there's a huge head of big fish in there, and it's really comfortable. And I think for the next couple of years, that's what I need. Somewhere that's just easy for me to access. I can drop on for a night or an overnighter and just get some fishing in. And I mean, it's on my doorstep. So in terms of a syndicate that close to home, you know, I'm not going to find any better. So yeah, I think that is probably where I'm going to go. So the season doesn't start on there till the start of May. So I've got till the end on Norvey, and that's where I'll be after. So yeah, that is what I'll be doing. I'll probably be doing the journal as normal, how I did. So like I say, I do believe things happen for a reason, and this wasn't my plan to go down that route, but my error has forced me to make this decision. So I think it could be a really good thing. It looks like my sort of fishing. It's very small in the sense of you've not got much in the sense of casting options. So I think I'll be doing a lot with the spoon there. So yeah, I think it will suit me really well. It gets really weedy. So yeah, exciting times. So yeah, I'll catch up with you at Norvey next week. But yeah, that brings you up to date as to what I'll be doing this year. Happy days. We are back at Norvey. It feels good to be back. It's nice to see it with a load of water in it. Definitely looks like a different lake. So no weed on the surface, no pads. There's a few on. I think there's about 5 on. The usual areas, but Boyce's is free. So I've put a bucket in there, and it's probably where I wanted to go. Gives me access to deep water. It gives me a really good view of the lake. So there is someone to the right of it, which isn't ideal, but at the moment it looks like the best option. It's very calm out there, but I haven't seen any signs as yet. Just feels nice to be back, to have a weekend off work. So it's actually my first weekend off this year. So yeah, more than anything, just looking forward to chilling out. But yeah, hopefully we spot some signs. Treating this as a bit of a recce trip really for the next few trips before we go. So yeah, I will catch up with you tomorrow probably. So going to empty the van, which is full of junk, and make my way around here. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a good trip, and like I say, just see some signs, and yeah, a bit of sort of positivity for the next trip. So these are, so you've got this weekend and the next weekend. They're the last ones on the winter syndicate, so I knew it'd probably be quite busy, those lads wanting to finish up before they go. So but yeah, it's well spread out. There's another guy walking around as well. So yeah, it's funny, a lot of the swims that are sort of unfishable now are full of water, so it looks really different. But yeah, looking forward to getting the rods out and kicking back. So as I say, I'll probably catch up with you tomorrow. I've actually just seen 2 fish. So I walked around into Elliott's because I thought rods are going out in the dark, whatever. So I thought I'd do a full lap. As soon as I walked into Elliott's, one boshed out in front. And then as I'm looking across, I've seen another fish show in front of Boise. So definitely fish in that middle area of the lake. Just bumped into a chap and he told me there's been a few fish coming out, quite spread around the lake. So yeah, encouraging signs. So sort out this mess of a van and get some rods out. So yeah, always nice when you see one. So yeah, encouraging signs. Good morning from a very sunny Northey Park. Feels amazing to feel the sunshine. Nothing to report really. Did hear quite a few fish as I was setting up, so there's definitely fish out in the front here. The chap did go opposite me, so I've got someone to my right, someone opposite. He's packed up. I think he's off today. The wind is blowing towards me and it feels lovely and mild. I haven't been watching like a hawk, to be honest. I've used this as a good opportunity. I've gone through all of my rig bags and prepped up some bits. I think I'm probably going to move, although I've heard fish out here. With the sun coming up, I really want to get access to some of that shallower water, so I may move right down the far end into peg 1, which I know that's a good bet this time of year. Not fished that area before, but I've got my spots out there. Or I may fish the cut, which gives you access to that channel as the fish pass through. So yeah, I don't really want to do 2 nights in one swim. As I said, this is a bit of a recce trip, so just going to make a bit of breakfast and yeah, make the most of this sun and have a real good walk round, see what I can find, and yeah, I think I'll get ready for a move and probably a change of tactics. I did actually fish over a bit of bait last night, but yeah, I think I will be fishing just low pop-ups and yeah, just try and nick a bite if I can. So yeah, I will keep you updated, and yeah, I think I'll be on the move soon. So this is the beach. Never fished this swim. Baited it quite a few times, but while I stood talking to somebody, I've seen 2 fish show out here. Really nice, comfortable fishing, tucked away off the back of the wind. I think it's a good bet, so I'm just going to flick singles out here, see what happens. But really good signs. The rain's just started to come in now, so I'm going to go and get packed up, probably get soaked, but we're on the move. Catch you in a bit. Well, the rods are out. First time fishing this swim. Feels really nice to be in here actually. Lovely, comfortable swim. And I reckon I've seen 5 to 6 shows out in front, so yeah, sitting here quietly confident. Change of tactics, typical sort of spring tactics, but yeah, there's definitely fish in front of me, so I'm just trying to stay quiet and hopefully one comes along. But the rain seems to be here for the afternoon now, so yeah, tucked away, waiting for it to happen. Look at that sunshine. It feels so good. Feels like spring's finally starting to arrive. Not a lot happened through the night. Got quite a bit of rain. The wind's actually got up quite a bit, but now that the sun shines up, I'm just hoping that a couple of fish start creeping in again like they did yesterday. I've got till about 10, half 10, so really hopeful that there might be a chance. But yeah, just enjoying seeing that sun out on the water. This is peg 1. I'm just getting ready to leave now, so I've just walked in. Seen a nice mirror down here. There's some pads that come up down here. I found fish here in the past. It looked like it was feeding. There was a little bit of bubbling, so there might have already been some bait down there. It's hard to see now, it's too deep, but yeah, this area has a little bit of form for this time of year. I've not fished it before, but it does look good in here. So yeah, one to think about next time. It's amazing the things you notice in the colder months. Never noticed this before. I don't know how clearly you can see that on the sign. It says Norvey's finest, rest in peace Kitch, and then the date on there. So a common that did over £50, died a few years back. I think it says 2016 on there. So yeah, I'm assuming that's where she was buried. But yeah, like I say, never noticed that before. Funny how much more you can notice in the winter months. Well, I'm just riding out the last half hour or so. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. It feels a little bit different this morning. Got up really early this morning, made sure I was on it, and we had quite a bit of rain in the night, and the winds sort of turned into me a little bit, and it just feels a little bit cooler this morning. I've seen a couple of signs out there. I can't be certain they were carp. And then, as I say, I've just seen a carp down in the corner next door. So maybe I made the wrong choice. Maybe I should have gone in there. There was definitely fish in there as well, but it did look good in here yesterday. I mean, I'd love to do the day. I mean, the sun is up now and there's definitely some warmth out there. And the activity I see yesterday was more late morning going into midday, but unfortunately I've got to be off soon. So, but yeah, really good trip. As I said, you know, I wasn't really coming here to expecting to catch anything. More of a recce trip, and I've certainly got that. I've seen fish all around the lake, got an idea of where a few have been caught. A much better idea of the tactics, you know, I'll probably be using over the weeks, and yeah, gonna bait a couple of areas, and yeah, just I feel ready to come back now. So yeah, really enjoyed coming back. I have to admit, I'm really gonna miss it here. I know I will. It's an amazing place, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So, but yeah, I'm really fired up for the next few weeks, and yeah, hopefully we can get a few of these fish on the bank. So I'll catch up with you next week when I'm here. So I know it's going to be busy. It's the last weekend of the winter syndicate. I already know there's a few lads coming back, but yeah, just got to be here now, make the most of every opportunity. So yeah, look forward to getting back already. We are back at Norvey. It is a lovely sunny evening, and I've managed to get down probably an hour earlier than I did last week. Got away from work a little bit earlier. Had a really good journey down, which I'm glad, because I knew it was going to be potentially busy. Like I said, last weekend of the winter syndicate, so I knew there'd be a few lads that would be keen to get back. Just turned up. I put a bucket in beach where I fished the second night last week, and obviously put some bait in. Just having a walk around now. The wind is hacking down the lake. I can see there's someone in Hump and Boise's. There's no one in Peg 1 where I see the fish and baited last week as well, but the wind is really cutting across there, whereas beach is very sheltered like it was last week when I see those fish. So we keep the bucket in there, have a walk round, see what I can see, but at least I've got a peg. There's someone in Middles, I know that, and then yeah, we'll make my way down the other end where I know a couple of fish come out, so see what's going on down there. But yeah, at least at the minute I know I've got a bucket in one of the swims I'd like to have got in. So yeah, see what happens. I was right, lake's definitely busy. I think there's 6, 7 on, which yeah, for here that's pretty busy. As you can see from the video I've just shown, car park is free, but the wind is absolutely hacking down the lake. And to be honest, I don't think it's very comfortable. So, yeah, it's not where I could be. But there was definitely fish down that end last week. So for the moment, I think beach is a good option. It's definitely sheltered. You know, I put a bit of bait out there, but I don't know what's gone on this week. People may have been fishing, I'm not sure. So yeah, I think that's definitely worth the first night. Just flick 3 rods out there, a few baits, tucked away a little bit. Most of the pressure, it's sort of from the middle of the lake down, so it just depends if anyone else turns up and potentially goes in my left in peg 1. Had a look in there, the wind is cutting across there as well, so really beach is probably one of the most sheltered areas of the lake, so even in middles you can see the wind cutting across there. So yeah, I think it's going to be windy all weekend and a bit of in and out sunshine, so hopefully if that sun stays out, those fish will be visiting those reed lines, and some of the pads are starting to come up where I see those fish last week. So yeah, get round there, get sorted. Look at that, rods are out before dark, house is up, well happy. I feel really tucked away in here. It actually feels really warm. I wouldn't want to be sat on that wind, I don't think. So yeah, forecast, they all went out nice. That's the beauty of this kind of fishing this time of year. Yeah, would have liked to have got them out in 3 casts, but I wasn't happy with the first drop on the right hand rod. That's sort of out into the open water where I see them shows last week. So yeah, second cast of that and got a much better drop out there. Just put a handful of baits on the left and middle rod, and I'm fishing the right as a single. So yeah, seen one other guy drive past, so yeah, the lake's bound to be busy. But yeah, I'm banking on the daytimes really, so tomorrow I'm going to try and keep the rods in the water as long as possible. A lot of that activity I saw last week was sort of late morning into the afternoon, so yeah, going to try and keep them out there and hope that they turn up. So I'm kind of hoping the wind stays this way, because as I say, I'm probably in the most sheltered part of the lake. So yeah, we will see. Hopefully the rain is gone now. We had a little shower while I was getting set up, but yeah, I want that sunshine to come out and these fish start creeping into this shallower water. Fingers crossed. This is what we want, a bit of spring sunshine. Really quiet night. I awoke to a liner, but yeah, didn't hear a lot through the night, and it actually feels really cold. This wind is, yeah, quite a sharp wind. So yeah, seen a lot less than I see last week, so I'm really banking on this sunshine staying up on this sort of calm area of water I've got in front of me, and hoping that they turn up like last week. So as I said yesterday, going to try and keep the rods in the water as much as possible today. But yeah, for the moment, very little signs out there, so just going to sit tight, hope the weather does its thing and the fish turn up with it. Good morning. Bit of spring sunshine finally coming out. This is what I wanted. Very quiet night, didn't really hear a lot out there. It feels really cold, that wind is sharp. So yeah, we kind of feel behind from where we were last weekend. You know, I see a lot of signs last week. Not a lot showed through the night, didn't really hear anything my way. I woke to a liner on the left hand rod, but again, could have been pike, very active last week. So yeah, as I said yesterday, I'm going to try and keep the rods in the water for as long as possible today. So I'm just going to hope that the weather does its thing. You know, a bit of sunshine on this calm water in front of me, and hope that the fish turn up. They were here last week, so you know, I'm just banking on that happening again. In terms of a move, it doesn't really look likely. I mean, I think if I was going to move, I'd probably move to my left, down in peg 1. Something actually just showed over my middle rod. Not sure if it was a carp, but definitely a show. So yeah, we'll see. Like I say, there's not a lot of calm water out there, and I just feel with that sunshine on it, that's where I would be if I was a fish. You know, I don't think I'd be sitting down on the end of that wind. That is sharp down there, and this has been blowing for a good week. You know, last week it was blowing down this end of the lake, down that end of the lake, sorry, and the week previous to that we had some real big winds that again I know was blowing down that end of the lake. So yeah, for me, I'd be looking for that shelter in those warm areas. So fingers crossed I've got it right. So yeah, just hope they turn up. Right, the rods have just gone out for the evening. They've gone out really nice. I've actually seen some really good signs. I've had a liner on the left-hand rod within minutes of putting it back out there. And I've seen 2 shows right over my right-hand rod, literally just after I've put it out. I've got a feeling I see a fish out in that zone earlier today. It's been a really weird day. The weather has been very typical of this time of year. The wind, it's been on, off all day. It's been really sunny at points. Then we've had some quite heavy showers, and it's just been really difficult to see anything. There's been lads out in the boats today, so there's been a lot going on. And I've just tried to stay tucked away here. I knew the wind was going to drop off and the sun was going to stay for the afternoon, so I've sort of stuck to my guns really, because there's a few swims free now. Middles is free, which obviously that swim, when I see it free, you know, is an easy thought to think to jump in there, but I don't think the fish are really getting in there at the moment. So yeah, I'm just basing this on what I see last week, putting a bit of bait in there. There's a load of fizzing just come up in an area. I definitely think there's fish out here. I've been certain all day that there's fish out here, and now the weather's changed a little bit. I'm hoping that, you know, puts a chance in my favour. So yeah, there's actually nobody down this end of the lake. It's just me now. So yeah, fingers crossed we're presented out there, and there might be a chance of a bite. So I'll be chuffed with anything at the minute. Only one of the good fish has actually been out so far, you know, in the last few weeks. Yeah, that's definitely a fish out there. Yeah, fish, Boise's come out last 2 weeks ago, I think. But other than that, none of the other known bigger fish have been out. A lot of the smaller carp have been getting caught, so they're very, very due. So that fish at a sea show out in front of it last week, we're almost certain what fish it was, which is like a once a year fish known as the black lin. So yeah, it'd be nice if that one's still out there, that's for sure. So yeah, fingers crossed. I've actually seen more signs in the last half hour than I've probably seen all day. So yeah, I'm hoping sticking to my guns pays off. As you can see, the weather's taken a big change. The wind has turned completely. It's now blowing down this end of the lake, driving rain at me, so I'm well wrapped up. Everything's packed up now and in the van. I've just got the rods out. I'm going to give it another 15 minutes or so. Yeah, it feels quite cold, to be honest. It feels like we've took a bit of a backward step with the weather this week, but that clock change is massive, so I think it's a matter of time before they really start to wake up and things start happening. I have seen a few fish this morning, a couple of good ones, so a few have definitely followed this wind, but I'd say they're more in the deeper water. The other side of the island is quite shallow where I am this side, so yeah, if I was staying put, I'd probably move to the swim opposite. And yeah, I definitely think there's a few down here. As I said, there was quite a bit of activity out here last night. I couldn't be certain that it was carp. I'm pretty sure a couple of them were definitely carp, but could have been pike, I don't know. But yeah, I went into the night feeling quite confident. But yeah, really strange weather this weekend. It's just, you know, some people would say it's great weather, but as I've said on here, really they respond to the sunshine, and when you get these sort of overcast, low pressure, big winds, it doesn't seem to do the do on here. I know one fish has been out, a real small one, so pretty much all the fish that have been out have been real small ones. I don't think the big girls are fully awake yet, and obviously that's what we're here for. So yeah, hopefully next weekend things will be a bit more alive. Weather's changing, I think, from Tuesday, warming up again, and obviously the winter ticket will be over then. So yeah, I've got a month to give it all I can, and yeah, fingers crossed they turn up. So yeah, I'll catch up with you next week unless anything happens. Back at Norvey, got down pretty easily after work. I wasn't sure if the lake would be busy or not. Today is the last day of the winter syndicate, but the lake was nice and quiet, so I took a look in beach. That's where I fished the last 2 weeks, and that same cold wind's blowing down the lake and it just didn't feel great. So I drove down the other end, bumped into a couple of guys, and they were going in the swims that I sort of fancied really. So Boise's and Last Stop, which is the swim opposite where I see some fish showing last week. So I was a bit torn. I didn't really know where I wanted to go. I couldn't see any signs down the car park end of the lake off the back of the wind. So I went and had another look in beach, stood on the high bank, and I see a good fish show off the back of the wind in front of a swim called Ransoms. So I got round there, got the kit into the swim, just started setting up, and there was definitely fish in front. I see fish in front of the swim, but as I'm stood there, I've seen two real good shows opposite in the swim called Carp, which I chucked some bait in last week. A little bit deeper water, just literally underarm flicks in front. Seen fish out here in the past, baited this swim in the past, but never fished it. So with that, I decided to bring the barrow all the way around the lake, which probably wasn't my best idea. But I didn't want to load the barrow back into the van and drive round. So made my way round, definitely seen some more fish in front. So I just felt with the baiting last week, nice easy flicks in front. It was pretty sort of self-explanatory fishing. So I've just got set up now. Marcus is to my left, so yeah, we'll see what happens. It's nice knowing I'm on fish, and I'm glad I'm on the back of the wind because it does feel cold down there. So I'm going to do tonight in here, see what happens, and then I may move. But yeah, hopefully there's a chance. So yeah, I'm going to get the bivvy up now. We've only gone and got one. Can't believe it. After that decision to move, I was certain I was on the fish, you know. I think that's the thing this time of year. You've got to chase them, you know. If you're seeing them, that's the sign you need, get on them. So I knew that where I was going to go just wasn't going to be the right choice. There was definitely fish over there, but I didn't feel I could have got set up on them how I wanted to. Got over it, literally plonked a couple of baits out where I'd been baiting, where I'd seen the fish. And yeah, I've heard a few through the night, and yeah, the rod's absolutely ripped off. Had a really good battle. There's some deep water in front here, and the weather's quite savage. The wind's hacking down the lake. Got a lot of driving rain coming in. It was really cold playing this fish, but yeah, we're certain it was a half decent fish. Got me in the weed a couple of times, and yeah, eventually popped up for the net. I think it's a fish called Mr. Jones, which is one of the better fish. Probably not the most attractive fish in Norvey, but I'm just absolutely buzzing to get one, so I feel like the hard work's paid off. I flicked a few more baits back on the spot. Just literally going to flick the rod out there now, and yeah, I'll show you the fish soon. What a result. Buzzing. Have a look. Unfortunately, it's a repeat. It's George's. A little bit bigger, 28-12. Covered in leeches. I reckon he's not been awake long. It's nearly light. I've got nice deep margins here, so I'm just going to stick him in the edge just so I can get him up and show you. Didn't get the best pictures of him when I had him, so yeah. Result, but yeah, a little bit gutted to have another repeat, I must admit. Thought it was a different fish, but it's what it is. We've got one. Yeah, get him in the edge. We have got a second one. Just getting sorted to photo the other one. The right hand rod's ramped off, tips flown round to the left. Good battle. Plump little stocky, and I think it's the fish that I feel I lost my first take out of here when I hand lined a fish up to the boat, God knows how many times. And this is the fish I've always been adamant it was. I've seen it in the water quite a few times. We've got him, so yeah, two fish. 1st of April. Happy days. Get this one sorted and then get the other one out and show them both to you. Right then, first fish of the year. Unfortunately a repeat. Like I said, fish known as George's we had last September out of Boise's. A little bit bigger, 28-12 this time. A little bit gutted to repeat, but I'm buzzing to get off the mark. It's been a bit of a slow start for me so far this year. So to have got a couple of bites, I'm absolutely chuffed. The conditions aren't ideal, but I just wasn't happy yesterday. Looking in those areas, I didn't want to act until I see something, and I did, but then I see more over here. I just felt I had a better chance to present. Minimal disturbance, just plonked 3 rods out, handful of bait over each. Typical spring tactics. 1st of April's always been kind to me. I've had some real big hits just as they're waking up. This one's covered in leeches. Don't think he's been awake long. Getting back. Shame to repeat, but lovely result on a dreary morning. So yeah, getting back, show you the other one. Fish number 2. Funny little character, this one. I've seen him in the water loads of times. But like I say, I'm certain it was the fish I lost on my first bite from here. Just because I hand lined the fish up to the boat probably 6-7 times. And you'll see what I mean. The fish is very distinctive. It's got huge great fins. Absolutely massive, but a funny fish actually. I feel like this is more an old school sort of fish. Pictures of my dad, you'd see fish like this, dumpy with big fins, but I don't see them so much now. Goldfish like fins. £22. Really good result. Wasn't expecting another bite at all. So yeah, really happy. Down the right hand side this time. Little yellow chod. Just typical spring fishing. Such a good way of fishing. Really simple. So yeah, chuffed to get this one. It wasn't on my most wanted list, but sometimes you see fish in the water along the way and you think, I wouldn't mind him on the journey. So yeah, really happy. Like I say, it's been a slow start to the year, so to tick off a couple of bites after a bit of graph, you know, it's my 3rd trip back to Norvey now, so been trickling some bait in some areas, watching them, and the weather just doesn't feel like it's felt quite right. So yeah, like I say, it's a really dreary morning, and I think it's meant to be for the day. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely fish down here on the back of the wind, so hopefully there's a chance of another. But yeah, soak up these 2 captures, have a coffee, bit of breakfast, sit in the warm under the brolly, I think, because I think we're getting plenty of rain today. But yeah, what a buzz, getting back. Today has been a really long day, following on from those 2 fish. I've ended up staying up all day. We went out in the boat, done a little bit of work around the lake. Didn't see any fish out in the boat down that end of the lake, so I've decided to stay put. Just got the rods out for the night, just making a bit of food now. I think there's only 4 of us on now, a couple have left. The same wind is blowing down the lake, which feels really cold. So yeah, decided to stay put. I mean, after having 2 fish, the conditions are very similar. It feels really cold, it doesn't actually feel that nice. So just hoping that the fish return. Haven't seen a lot today at all. So yeah, kept everything the same, kept the lines out of the water all day, topped up the bait a little bit every time I've come back to swim, just a few baits on the spot. So yeah, fingers crossed there's a couple more down there and I might get one more chance. So yeah, I'll catch up with you in the morning, hopefully with a fish. Well, the session's come to an end. No more fish for me. I probably should have moved. Strange one really. I think that area, as good as it was to get a couple of bites, I think you're only ever going to get a bite or 2 out of there. But it's a really good area. I'm glad I went in there. A lot of the good fish have got form for that sort of zone, so I've trickled a bit of bait in there. Just putting a bit more in now into beach. So I'm going to just try and keep a little bit of bait going into those 2 areas. There's other lads baiting around the lake as well, so I don't want to bait too many zones. So I'm just going to chuck this in now and get on my way. The weather changed. It was quite cold last night. A lad called Liam moved into Andy's, which is on the spit, essentially the other side of the cut. Whether that changed anything, I don't know. I think, to be honest, they backed off of the pressure. It was really warm around there, and that's probably where I should have moved, but didn't see any obvious signs. He's gone and caught 2 this morning, so yeah, lesson learned. Probably shouldn't have sat on my hands, but it's hard when you've caught a couple of fish from a swim. Naturally, you don't really want to move. So yeah, really enjoyable trip though. Nice to see a few fish come out, and yeah, really looking forward to this month. I think yeah, there's some good fishing on the card, so I can't wait to get back, get this bait in, get on the road, and I'll be back next week. The rods are out, managed to get them out just before dark. I took a while to wait before I decided where I was going to go. I'm back in Carp. Didn't really know what to do. There's not loads of guys on, but there weren't really any obvious signs. I got down a little bit earlier than I have been, and a lot of the activity has been coming like now, this sort of last hour of light. So I spent some time watching, and I've seen 3 in the centre, and then I've seen another 2 in front of here. So obviously I'm really confident coming back into here. There's not as much pressure down this end. Stu's over in Andy's there. So yeah, just literally 3 casts, plonked them out, handful of baits. So I'm quietly confident. We've got some sunshine coming these next couple of days, so I'm going to do the night in here because the nights are still cold. Once that sun comes up, I'll have a better idea whether they're going to head down this end or maybe down the shallows towards beach. So obviously I baited that as well, so I've got that option, which is still free at the moment. So not a lot's been out this week, I don't think. Not that busy either. So yeah, hopefully I've made the right choice. So yeah, I'm going to make some dinner now. I'm absolutely starving. And yeah, just sit back nice and quietly and hope that they creep into here again. So yeah, fingers crossed. Well, the day's just drawing to a close. It's been a beautiful sunny day, all day, clear blue skies. I'm actually set up in Ransoms, so the swim opposite the cut. Never fished this swim before, always wanted to. It's got a lovely view of the lake. Look out from your brolly, out to your rods, a real nice view. It's been so warm over here, and to be honest with you, it was black with fish, so I quickly moved round. There was a few fish when I first moved over here, and then as the day's gone on, more and more fish have shown. I don't know the swim, it's very shallow, so I've just flicked choddies around the swim and nothing's come of it. I've just got the rod set for the night. I have moved a couple onto spots, so yeah, we'll see what happens. It's nice to be in a different area. Like I say, a swim I've always wanted to fish, so yeah, it'd be really nice to get one from here. I just lost one, which is a real burn. Left hand rod absolutely tore off. Only just, like I said, replaced the rods. Spooked a fish off that left hand rod. That's where I've seen a majority of the action today. I've sort of moved that rod around a little bit. Yeah, absolutely ripped off. I don't think it was a particularly big fish. Not really sure why it come off. It had a bit of a ball of weed on its head. The lead didn't eject, which on a choddy isn't normally a problem. I'm not sure. Hook was sharp, but yeah, it's just frustrating, you know, sort of made the effort, been on fish, sat it out for a few hours, finally got the bite and it come off. But a good sign, it's a bite from the area, so I like to think there's definitely a chance of another one. So fingers crossed I'll get another chance. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, a bit gutting. Just got the rod back out there. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We have got one. Absolutely buzzing to get one after losing one. I went to bed feeling really deflated. Woke up this morning, it was really misty. Didn't think it was going to happen. The sun was trying to break through, and after 2-3 hours after sunrise, eventually come up. One of the rods rattled off. Got a lovely linear, probably low to mid 20, one of the old carp I think. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this one. Like I say, really happy to get one after losing that fish. I think this is the first fish to be caught from this swim since last spring. So yeah, real buzz. Let's get him out and show you. We've got really tricky light in here, so I'm not sure how this is going to look, but I'm sure it's not going to do this fish justice. So I've seen a couple of these linears in the water. I think there's 2 or 3 of them in here, sort of low to mid 20. This one's around the 23 pound mark, and it is really cool. A super long fish. I think they're old fish, little fins, small mouth. It's like a torpedo. What a carp. Fish like this is what I come to Norvey for. These lovely old mirrors. Not many lakes hold them anymore. Yeah, I'm really sad to leave, I have to admit. I absolutely love the place and the fish are just amazing. Really happy to get this after losing that one yesterday. Like I said, I don't think it was a big fish, but it was just a reward for the effort more than anything. Finally got that bite. For it to come off was gutting, and I really didn't think I was going to get another one. Feels really good out there now. It's meant to be cloudy today, but we've got a lot of sun. It's quite hazy, and the fish seem to have turned up again, so I'm really hopeful of another chance. I've got a little bit longer today. I haven't got to rush back, so yeah, I've got a few more hours. so fingers crossed we can get another one, but if I don't, I'm absolutely chuffed with this one. What a wicked carp. Right, that's me done. Could have stayed a little bit longer if I wanted to, but they're just not here in the numbers like they were yesterday. I'm more than happy with what I've had. Obviously would have loved to have landed that fish. Not totally sure why it come off. I think sometimes when you're fishing in real shallow water, they're not feeding quite the same as they would be on, you know, your normal sort of deeper areas. I probably had that take in 2 foot of water, so the lead's not ejecting. I don't think it helped because the fish was basically, there was weed on its head, and I think with the lead lower down, as I was cranking the line back up, it was bringing the lead towards the fish, which could have essentially bumped the hook off. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird fight really. It was just one of those where it just felt like it was going to fall off, and it did. So but yeah, obviously made up with that linear, beautiful carp, and really nice to get a couple of bites out of this swim. I think this swim hasn't done a fish since last spring because of the water level. This was one of the swims that was unfishable. So yeah, really enjoyable trip. Obviously would have loved to have landed that one lost, but is what it is. Felt great to feel some sunshine. That's the biggest thing. It just feels like a different lake with the sun on it. It feels great today, but like I say, they've just not turned up in the same numbers. I'm just seeing the odd one drifting in and out, so they are obviously elsewhere. So I'm just going to get some bait in. I've got a friend's 30th birthday party tonight, so really looking forward to that, seeing some old school friends and celebrating the Easter weekend like a normal person. So yeah, looking forward to getting back and doing that. So yeah, enjoyable trip. Looking forward to getting back though. So yeah, I'll catch up with you next time. Some of the babies in the stock pond, enjoying the spring sunshine. These fish will no doubt be the future of Norvey. Lovely scaly ones in there. Mixture of all sorts. Probably 2 to 5 pound, a lot of them. Lovely to see. Bait up done. Time to go home. Back at Norvey. I've taken a couple of days off work, so I've got this as like a holiday trip, and then in 2 weeks time I've got another 3-nighter. The way I see it, I'm going to do mainly overnighters and quick nights at the new water, so this is sort of my last chance to do some of these longer sessions. And obviously I really want to make a go of the last 3 weeks now over here. We've got some real big winds. The weather's quite different to when I left last week. Big strong southwesterlies blowing down the lake. I've just walked around pretty much every nook and cranny of the lake and I haven't seen a single fish. I've parked behind Middles, which is pretty sheltered from this. We got in and out sunshine with some rain, so I really don't think that's a bad bet to start. A few fish have been coming out of there, and I think there's fish creeping in that area all the time. Plus, I think there's a real good chance of the big one coming from there. So I think at the minute, that's probably where I'm going to start. There was 2 guys on, one's just left. So yeah, I think I'll start in there, do the night, see what happens, and if nothing occurs, then I'll be on the lookout again. But yeah, really difficult to spot anything. Wind is really hacking down the lake, so not a lot of the lake is sheltered at all. Middles is fairly sheltered, but it's not exactly flat calm in front of there. And I think the wind is meant to actually get up, turn more to a westerly at some point. So yeah, I think that's a good place to start, and I'd like to get in there before I finish as well. Obviously got some good memories in that swim. I'm trying to sort of take in as much of the lake before I go. So yeah, I think I'll be starting in there and then we'll see what happens. So fingers crossed we get 1 or 2. So yeah, really hopeful for this trip. I mean, so many of the good fish are due out now. So yeah, just really hoping I get a chance with one of them. So I'll catch up with you a bit later on. Can't believe it, we've got one already. Only been set up, I don't know, an hour or 2, and I see a fish out in front. I took a while to get sorted and I see a fish show in front. Got the rod sorted as quick as possible. You know, I feel it's such an edge knowing the swims. Got the rods out as quick as I could, and yeah, I mean, we just had a load of rain and a bit of wind, and I didn't really think anything was going to happen for a while. and the left hand rod just absolutely tore off with this amazing linear. I'm not sure what it is just yet, but I'm gonna get sorted, get the rod back out, and yeah, what a buzz. It absolutely tore my arm off. Real good battle. Yeah, absolutely buzzing. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me. The wind is absolutely hustling. What a carp this is. I know what fish it is. One of the stockies. When I started on it, this fish come out literally the first week. As soon as I see pictures of it, I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind that one. Scattered linear, really lovely colours. Unexpected bite. Conditions aren't amazing, but I feel like I'm in the best place for them. This fish gave me a hell of a ruck. Other than tea and biscuits, probably the hardest fighting fish I've had from Norvey. At one point I wasn't sure if I'd get him back. But bite off the left hand zone, I haven't had much action off the left hand area of middle, so yeah, really chuffed with this one. And a really positive sign. Still got a lot of time left, so to have pinched one early, I'm really happy. But yeah, to walk away with this one, as I say, this was one of the fish that I really wanted at the stockfish. What a beautiful carp. Amazing colours, big fins, yeah, real pretty one. So yeah, what a start. Really happy. We have got another one. Another nice mirror, low to mid 20 I reckon. Horrendous night, the weather was all over the place, one of the worst nights fishing I've had in a long time, but we've got another one, so rod's back out there. Get sorted, I'll get him out and show you. Right then, fish number 2. Apologies for the lighting, the sun's coming through, there's not really a lot I can do about it. Trouble is with middles, there's not a lot of safe ground for photoing them. Up top it's a lot flatter once the sun comes through. Makes photoing really difficult. So that last fish, the 23 pounder that I caught back in Carp, like I said, you don't really see fish like that very often, and this fish is almost like a clone of it. Slightly smaller fins, but definitely part of the same stocking. So if it wasn't that one I lost on my first fish, it was probably this one. Same weight, 23, football like mirror. Lovely clean fish. There we go. Like I say, I'm not sure how well you can see that. Really, really rough night. I feel like I've hardly slept at all. The wind's just different directions, and then rain was coming with it. The brolly blew up at one point. Just wasn't a comfortable night's fishing, but I just feel that this area of the lake is more sheltered than anywhere else, and I just had that feeling that they were in here. So to have had a couple of bites, sort of off gut instinct really, it's a real big buzz. Obviously my confidence is sky high. Got another 2 nights, so we'll see how today goes. You know, if I feel the fish are here, then I'll just stay here, as I'm more than certain one of the big ones will turn up at some point. I've had 5 fish now this spring. 5 20 pounders, and I feel like it's a matter of time until one of them big girls turns up. So I'm sure they've already been in here. They're definitely eating now, catching them over a little bit of bait. So yeah, I'm praying that one of those turns up. So yeah, fingers crossed. The wind's meant to die off today, and I can't wait. So a bit of sunshine, hopefully a few more carp. But yeah, well happy with this one. Lovely carp. Good morning. Not a lot to report after that fish yesterday morning. As you can see from the video, that wind was absolutely savage, and even in here with the channels of the islands, it was just creating gusts and just wasn't a comfortable day. So I didn't see anything yesterday, so I decided to stay put. Got really cold last night. I think it dropped to about 2 degrees. I don't think it's much warmer than that now. The lake has completely flattened off now, so I've slackened off a little bit. I have had a couple of liners since. Could have been silverfish, there's tons of those in here. Seen a little bit of water rocking, that kind of thing out there, but no obvious signs. We're due a shed load of rain coming in about lunchtime, I think, so I'm really hopeful that a bite materialises before then. As I say, it looks a lot more promising now. Wind's flattened off. We have got a little bit of sunshine breaking through, so yeah, really hopeful that one turns up, because once that rain comes in, I think a bite's going to be tricky to come by all around the lake. I know 3 guys have definitely turned up. There's one in Elliott's, one in Boise's and one in Andy's, so really Boise's or Elliott's is probably where I'd move to with all this rain coming in, so not really an obvious move, so it's looking like I'll probably stay put, but I'll have a walk round after sort of lunchtime and see if I can find anything. So yeah, just really hopeful that something turns up this morning. Well, the rain came and I finally got the bite. On the rod I had a couple of liners on this morning. I've seen fish cruising about out there. Had a couple of bleeps and then the rod shot off. I see the fish flash out on the spot and I had a feeling it might be the koi, but it's not, it's a linear, and I'm almost certain it's the same fish that I caught last weekend, which is gutting if it is. So yeah, I'm gonna let this rain pass or hopefully settle and then get it out, but I'm pretty certain it's the same fish, which is really disappointing, but got the bite, and I think this rain is now in for quite a few hours, so yeah, whether we'll get another chance or not, I don't know. Well, how is your luck? Can't believe it. Caught the same linear I caught last weekend. Funny old thing, fishing. Always expect the unexpected. Got the bite that I wanted. I thought it was the koi, and as soon as I see it in the margin, I thought that looks very familiar. A lovely carp, but nobody likes repeats. Just taints the capture a little. Didn't show him in his best light over on the other side in the sun, so hopefully he looks a little bit better now. Lovely carp, I'm certain he's an old one. This is actually my 20th landed fish out of Norvey. 3 of those being repeats, which is definitely disappointing, but considering I didn't fish it all through the summer, didn't start catching them until late August, I'm really happy with that. The rain's just come to a close, a little bit of sunshine again, so get myself sorted, get the rods back out there, and hopefully there is a chance of another one, and hopefully no more repeats. But yeah, lovely carp. Thought I'd show you him in a better light. But yeah, I'm definitely a little bit disappointed to repeat again. Let's get him back. Right, we are absolutely soaked. It's been raining for, I don't know, the best part of 4 hours now. See a couple of fish going into the evening on the right hand side of the swim. And I literally was just getting into bed and the left hand rods tore off. Had a real good battle. Didn't do a lot at first, and then once it woke up, really did start pulling. One of the old ones, a fish called the leather, 27.8. I thought it was a much bigger fish actually. If I'd have lost it, I'd have thought it was much bigger. The way it was wallowing about on the surface, I thought it was one of the real big girls. But this is one of the fish that I really wanted actually. You don't see it often. It's not a full leather, there's a few scales on it, but really cool carp. It looks much bigger than it is. Just got it down in the edge, just going to get the rod back out now, and I'll get it up. I'm not going to video it, the rain is just pumping it down, so yeah, I'm just going to try and get some snaps. I'll try and get a bit of video footage of it on the mat. But yeah, what a buzz. So yeah, it's about 10 o'clock now, so yeah, there's definitely fish in front. I wouldn't have thought so in this weather, but yeah, they're definitely out there. The lake's very busy, so maybe that's pushed fish around these islands, I'm not sure. So yeah, really happy. So yeah, get the rod back out and get him out. There we go, Norvey's leather. Wicked old carp. Couple of little scales there, some on the top. Real brute. Thought it was a fish called scarf, which is a few pound bigger. But this one's been £30, a little bit down. But yeah, well happy, one I wanted. Get him up for some photos. The rain is still chucking it down. Look at this marking on his head. What a beast. Sun's getting back. I don't know how well you can see this. So this is the rod that I had the leather on last night. I've had a liner this morning and now they've started sheeting up on the spot. So I think it's a matter of time before that rod ramps off again. Really strange. I've not had lots of action on the left hand side of this swim, but I've had 2 bites off that spot now, so definitely using it this time of year, that's for sure. So yeah, fingers crossed, a matter of time before one of the rods goes. Well, that 5th bite never materialised. The fizzing just come to a close, and after that I didn't really see a lot. It's turned into a lovely day. Gutted to be leaving actually, it'd be a really nice day to be here. The wind has swung round and apparently a lot of the big fish have turned up down in peg 1, which doesn't surprise me. I imagine it's nice and warm down there. So yeah, obviously made up with the trip, ticked off a couple that I wanted. A shame to get that repeat, especially so soon after catching it, but obviously my confidence is really high. I've worked out I can actually only do 1 more trip. I can't do the last weekend of the season, it just doesn't work for me, so I've got 1 more free nighter to do. So yeah, really hopeful for a chance of one of those big uns. They're very, very due out. I feel like they're going to come out any day. So yeah, already can't wait to get back for my final trip to Norvey. So I'll catch up with you then. We are back at Norvey for the final trip. I've just got the rods out in Boise's. It's Saturday night and it threw me a little bit. There's only 2 guys here. There's someone in Middles and someone in Andy's. So I've got 3 nights. The weather is meant to change. It's actually really nice. As you can see, the sun's going down. Found a few fish down either end. Found one in last stop, a couple down in Carp Park, and I also see a couple of fish milling about in front of the beach. But decided on Boise's. I'm super confident in this area. I've got 3 rods out there fishing, and then the chance to move. We've got some rain coming in, and the temperature's actually meant to drop quite a bit. So I feel like this is a real good bet. I've actually seen 2 fish in front of the swim whilst getting set up. So yeah, literally clip the rods up, free cast, throw and stick a few baits over the top. So yeah, really confident. So yeah, got really high hopes for this trip. I believe one of the big uns got caught out Middles in the week, which is a little bit gutting. A few of them come out in the week, but that's spring fishing for you. So yeah, really hopeful. But yeah, anything's a result. So yeah, just gonna try and enjoy the trip. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Well, we are on the move, reeled in early, quite an uneventful night. I felt really confident going into the night. Had a couple of occurrences, could have been bats going through the line, I'm not sure. Fishing with high lines up in Boise's, and yeah, definitely had a few occurrences, but can't be certain they were fish. Didn't hear a lot at all. And then this morning I've seen a couple of shows sort of out in the pads in the centre. Everybody fishing is leaving, so I've gone and chucked a bucket in Middles. I'm not sure it's the right decision. If I do go in there, I'm just going to leave the kit in there, leave them alone all day. I think there's been quite a bit of disturbance this week. I don't think I've turned up at the best time, to be honest. So I'm just going to have a walk round now. I've chucked a bucket in there. The weather is a little bit all over the place. The sun's up now, but I think we're due quite a bit of rain. So we'll have to see. I just feel so confident in Middles, and I feel confident of certain fish. There's a few of the big ones left to come out, and you know, doing last night in Boise's, it's not a swim that those fish come from. So I feel I've got to put myself in the areas where those ones are known for getting caught in. So I think there's probably every chance I'll do the night in Middles, see what happens. If nothing occurs, then I'll probably move into one of the swims that gives me access to those pads in the middle, as that's where I've seen fish. So yeah, we'll see. I'm taking a bit of a punt if I go in Middles. It's more based on confidence. Obviously I baited the swim last week, and I feel confident that those particular fish will come from that area. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a funny trip. Weather's a bit strange, and yeah, there's definitely been quite a bit going on over the lake this week. There's a few guys over here, and there's been quite a lot of boat activity by the sounds of it. So I think the fish are a little bit spooked, just based on where I've seen them in the shows. They're sort of in the edges and yeah, in the bits that they're safe. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but just going to walk the lake hard today and just keep my eyes on it and see if I can find any opportunities. let's get on the move. Right, I'm all set up in middles. I thought I'd just have one more walk round before I flick the rods out. And there's fish in Carp Park again, where I see them yesterday. Mainly all smaller fish, but there is one good fish there. I think it might be the big lin, it's hard to tell. So I'm gonna go and get some bait, trickle some bait down there. Then if nothing occurs in middles, I will be moving straight round into here. So a bit of a gamble because someone could turn up, but I feel like middles is the place for certain fish. But at the same time, if there's fish down here and it's not happening in middles, I'll be a fool to leave them alone. So yeah, a bit of a risk because part of me's thinking I should be moving into Car Park, but I'm gonna give it a gamble in middles, do the night in there, and then if it don't happen, I'll be straight round on the move. At least I know if I put a bit of bait in there, hopefully they would have fed on it. So yeah, good signs though. The sun's out, the weather isn't really meant to be as good as this. I thought it was going to be quite cloudy and quite cold, but the rain seems to have passed and the sun keeps breaking out, and it's turned into a really nice day actually. But there's a wind blowing down the lake and it feels quite cold. Middles is flat calm, so's Car Park, and I see a few fish down in front of the beach again off the back of the wind, so they're definitely in more sheltered spots. As I said, I think there's been quite a bit of activity on the lake this week, people fishing and boat use and what have you, and they seem to be tucked away in little sort of pockets of water where they can't really be fished. So like the shows I see last night were quite tucked away in sheltered areas. So yeah, I mean, quite a few of them have been caught now. So yeah, I think they're a little bit on guard and yeah, getting into little corners. So trickle a little bit of bait in there and hopefully they feed in there with some confidence. And I mean, even if I don't move, I may go around there for a few hours tomorrow if they're still there. So we will see. Good signs though. We have got one. As I said, I was a little bit unsure whether moving into middles was the right move, but stuck with my decision. And moving into the evening, about an hour before dark, I see a fish show, got a good view of it, bosh right out of the water, looked like a scaly mirror. And then around 9:30, similar time that I caught the leather last week, left down rods ramped off. We've had a real pretty mirror, so I would have said it's most likely the fish that I see show. Not happy at all, but I thought it'd be rude not to show you him. Look at him, just over the 20-pound mark. Real pretty carp. Lovely mouth, nice plump belly, definitely one for the future. So I'm well happy. Means I won't be going home empty-handed on my last trip. Not one of the big girls that I'd have liked, but just keep thinking the next bite could be it. So just be happy to be getting the bites. So yeah, right result, rod's back out there. Feels nice actually, the wind's swung round and it's blowing into the swim. I've heard some fish showing on the back of the island, so hopefully a few move through. And as I say, just praying that next bite's one of them big girls. But yeah, well happy with this one. Really pretty carp. Well, unbelievably, we've got another one. I reckon no later than an hour. Just getting into bed and the middle rod's ramped off. One of the old fish. I do believe it's got a name. I'm not sure what that is. I've seen a couple of pictures of it. Cool old carp, just over 24 pounds. Little fins, a few scales on him. Definitely showing his age. Really rucked hard. Not that happy on the mat either. Have a look at him. Wrinkly old skin. Really cool carp actually. Chuff with this one. As I say, the weather's changed quite a bit. The wind's blowing in here quite strongly. It's a nice warm wind. and the fish do seem to be following the winds of late, so hopefully this is a really good sign and the fish are moving in. So super confident, just praying I get a chance of one of them big old girls, but for now just keep ticking them off. Result. Well, things have really started to kick off now. Fish number 3, this little 14 pounder, really humpy fish, really cool one actually, loads of little starburst scales. Thought I'd just show you him on the mat. This is my 30th bite from Norvey and my 10th landed carp this spring, smallest one so far this spring. Yeah, it's nice to be catching them, but I just can't help but feel one of those big ones has to be close now. So get this one slipped back, get back in the bag because I'm knackered. Result. Good morning. Fish number 4 in the net, smallest one so far, only a tiddler. I was just thinking about redoing the rods, woken up a little bit bleary-eyed from the night's activity, and the middle rod ramped off, wiped out my right hand rod, so I think I'm going to bring them all in, rebait, get sorted. I've just seen one show out there in that wind, so they've definitely got on that. So I think for the moment I'll be staying put. I think there's a chance of a couple of bites today, so yeah, like I say, going to get sorted, get them all back out there, fresh rigs, fresh bait. But fingers crossed something a little bit bigger turns up, because this one is a real small one. But have a look at him, what a beauty, unbelievable colours, really pretty one. 9 pound, not what we're here for, but great to see. Future at Norvey for sure. Well, the light is just starting to drift away on my final night at Norvey. Not a lot's occurred today. I had a good walk round after that fish this morning and didn't see a single fish, so I definitely think the fish moved on that wind. Between getting up through those fish in the night, the lake was alive, heard loads of activity sort of between the channels, the other side of the island, and definitely there was fish in front. Obviously I'm made up to have had 4 fish in a night, that's real good going, but obviously feel a little bit unlucky that I've not got through to any of the bigger ones. It's been a really good spring in terms of numbers, you know, I've done well, but unfortunately I haven't got through to the bigger fish, so really hopeful for tonight. Cannon come out a year ago today, so maybe that's a sign, who knows, but yeah, I'm the only one here, so yeah, I'm just going to soak it in, enjoy my final night, and fingers crossed I get another chance. Oh, I do not believe it. Finally got what I've been waiting for. One of the A team. The most mental capture. So, just done that piece to the camera, said that I'm the only one here, and then I get a message from Ben, who's turned up in peg 1. He's caught a couple of fish, asking if I can come around and do the pictures for him. Literally 15 minutes of light left, and I thought, well, I've got to go and do it. Reeled in the rods, photoed these 2 fish for him, and I've come back. I've put the rods out, and it's took me a few casts, and literally I've sat down thinking they're not perfect at all, like thinking I've blown it on my last night. The left hand rod, really weird thing, like the bobbins rattled to the top, pulled out the clip. I've run over to the rod, and then I'm watching the line tighten up. I'm like, right, we're away. Picked up the rod, and I've just had this crazy battle. The fish was fizzing out into the lake, went absolutely flying out there. And I was a bit confused at first. I thought it was a pike picked me up. It was really odd, and it come up on the surface, and I thought, that sounds like a proper one, and it's 2-tone. I'm absolutely buzzing. One of the fish that I really wanted. When I caught tea and biscuits, I said there was 3 that I saved pictures of, and that was tea and biscuits, 2-tone, and cannon. So I am absolutely buzzed. Finally got what I felt was coming. That's my 12th fish this spring, and I finally got one of the good ones. It come out a week or 2 ago, so I know it's around the 37 pound mark, but regardless, one of Norvey's proper recognisable characters. So yeah, gonna get sorted and get him up and show you, but I'm absolutely made up. I'm proper charged up. What a buzz. I don't know what is going on, but As soon as it goes dark at the minute, it just feels like it goes to madness. Just lost the fish. Literally was just trying to get two-tone unhooked in the net, and then I thought I'd caught the line of the rod next to me, and then the middle rod is just absolutely ripping, real smashed into the buzzer. Really aggressive battle, and fish was taking line from me from the off and just caught me completely off guard while trying to sort out the other fish. And yeah, got it away from danger, but it started pulling hard right, and like I said, just didn't feel like I had the upper hand, and it just bumped off. So yeah, shame to lose one, but is what it is. So all 3 rods are back out there now, rebaited. I've weighed two-tone, put in a sling. It was 36.12. So yeah, just gonna have a tidy up, and I'm gonna get it up and show you now. So yeah, can't wait to see it. Well, you couldn't write it, could you? Final night. We've gone and got one of the ones I really wanted. Unbelievable bit of fishing, as you could probably tell from that bit of video. Completely blown away. I put them rods back out, and I thought I've blown it. You know, I felt like it's final night, and by doing someone a favour, I'd sort of paid the price, and just couldn't believe it when that quickly a rod ramped off. And as I said, I then quickly lost the fish afterwards. Just completely threw me off guard, and fish was running around everywhere, and sometimes you just know they're going to come off, and unfortunately that one bumped off. But yeah, it's not going to kill the buzzer, this one. As I said, there was 3 fish I really wanted from Norvey, and this was one of them. Old relic with the summer. Unfortunately, she dropped quite low, didn't look her best. She's been 42 before, I believe, but weight is completely irrelevant. What an old character. Northey Park's two-tone, 36.12. What a way to round off this spring. Been some really enjoyable fishing. I just felt close to one of these big old girls, and I finally got one. What a buzz. What a wicked carp. Thank you. Just what I needed. Just to get that fishing buzz back. It's been amazing. Really enjoyable few weeks. What a buzz. What an awesome old carp. Made up. What an incredible old carp. A relic. Just what I come to Norvey for. Look at the fins. What a way to sign off. Thank you, old girl. What a buzz. Let's get her back. It looks like two-tone, may very well be my last Northey Park carp. Rode it out this morning, it's coming up to 11 o'clock now, and I just don't think it's meant to be. I was really hopeful of another chance, but after that mad half hour of the fish and then losing one, it really flattened off, and it just didn't feel on after that. Really didn't hear a lot in the night, and nothing more came with it. Quite a cold night, dropped to about 1 degree. The wind's got up and it feels really cold, to be honest. I'm sort of sitting in the sunshine now, trying to milk a bit of warmth from it. Looks really good out there, but just not seen a lot. I've had a couple of liners, could have been anything though, and yeah, nothing's come from it. So I'm probably going to give it another hour. Feel quite emotional to be leaving, I must admit. It's not just leaving Norvey. I've been travelling for my fishing now for nearly 4 years, and I think once you've had a taste of that, the thought of fishing locally seems very tame, and I really hope I do enjoy it on this new lake. But I've got to do what I've got to do, and sometimes you just got to prioritise other things. Hopefully it's all for the better. So yeah, the end of the road. I'm gonna have one more walk round, just take it all in. But big thank you to Elliot for taking me on, and all the lads have been so welcoming on here. Great bunch of lads, and yeah, I've loved every minute of it, to be honest. I mean, the autumn was really quiet, some really enjoyable fishing for me after not really fishing much in the summer. And again, coming back on this spring, you know, I'd hardly fished all winter, was desperate to get out, do a bit of fishing, and yeah, it's just been a really enjoyable spring. You know, the lads have all been great, got amongst plenty of fish. You know, I'm really happy with the numbers. So I finished on 26 fish, lost 7. So I said to myself, if I had 20 in a season, I'd be really happy with that. So, and I've ticked off 4 or 5 of the old ones, you know, and 2 of the sort of main 3 that I wanted. There's 4 in here that I'd say I'd really like, so there's nothing to say a return isn't on in the future if Elliot will take me back. But yeah, for the time being, I've just got to focus on a bit of local fishing and try and buy a house. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. Sorry it's a bit of a long one, but yeah, obviously a lot's gone on, and I'll try and sort of document as much as I can. At the new lake, it's probably going to be a slightly different style. You know, a smaller lake, it's going to be busier, I'm going to be around a lot more people, so I'm just going to sort of see how I get on over there really, and film as of what I can. So I look forward to sharing that with you, and as always, thank you for the support, and I hope you enjoyed the video.